You really think we're going to get away with pretending to be Texas outlaws on the run?
We got no other choice, Mr. Masterson. Could never blast Butch Henry and his boys out of there with a posse, so if he can't lick them, you join him.
Sure, but what happens when they find out they have Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson in camp? That Butch Henry has 19 notches on his gun.
Well, if we get caught, then either Mr. Henry's going to be carving 2 more notches or he'll be dead.
At least we got an even chance.
Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien.
Wyatt Earp, as marshal in Wichita and now in Dodge City, had met some of the top guns of the western frontier. He had outfought the notorious Manon Clements. He had outfought John Wesley Hardin in a final showdown. He had persuaded Clay Allison to run from Dodge City rather than face a duel with 45s man-to-man. But the case of Butch Henry, cattle thief and killer, presented a new problem. Not much was known about him, and he chose to await a battle with the law on his own fighting ground in the rocky wilderness known as the Salt River Bend.
Mr. Barrow!
What happened, Bill?
That Butch Henry gang, they attacked us in the brush, and they killed Rance and Herb, and then they...
We'll take him to Doc McCarty in Dodge. I'm going to see Wyatt Earp about this. And we're small fry in the cattle business, Marshal. We couldn't take the law into our own hands if we wanted to. And we're asking you to organize a posse and go after that gang. I know you've had trouble with cattlemen from the big outfits, but none of our boys.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it, sir. It's just that, well, technically, Sheriff Bassett has the jurisdiction. I know he's homesick, but, well, as Chief Deputy Bill Tillman...
He's not here, Marshal. He rode to the fort this morning to check a Cheyenne outbreak down south.
Well, I guess it leaves it up to me.
Good.
Oh, you think that Butch Henry's holed up at the Salt River Bend, huh?
We know he's there, Marshal. And he's got 300 head of our steers. Salt River is a good hideout, and we're going to need quite a few men.
Well, I never like to use a posse, unless it's a last resort.
Marshal, Butch Henry has killed at least 20 men. He's on the run from East Texas. They've got good peace officers in East Texas, but they didn't take Butch Henry.
I'd like to take a crack at it.
Well, we're in your hands. I reckon this is one of the few times that any cattleman ever came to you for help.
Yes, it is, and I appreciate it. I want Butch Henry as much as you do.
And here's another thing, Zach. We've run off all the beef we can rebrand and sell, right? Well, a couple of the boys can hold him here. So why don't the rest of us pull a raid on Dodge? They tell me them gambling houses are just loaded with cash money, right?
No.
What do you mean, no?
George Morris tried it.
He's a big-headed fool. He tried to take over the whole town. I mean a quick raid.
Wyatt Earp's in Dodge.
Oh, now, Zach, don't tell me we're scared of that Cowtown marshal. 19 notches, and I'll cut me number 20 for Mr. Earp. Zach, you ain't scared of Earp.
Never laid eyes on him.
Well, neither have I. But that's no reason to be taking him so serious. Who's he ever killed? Look, a man don't get an honest reputation without no notches in his gun, right?
I'll think it over.
Where you going?
Check on the cattle guard. You think about it some more, Butch.
But I figured on starting at sunup.
No.
Aren't you going to tell me what this is all about?
No sense in worrying you until it's necessary.
Well, Marshal Earp, I just got him finished. It's a good joke, you and Mr. Masterson being one of a train robbery in Texas.
What?
$2,000 reward for Morg Pickett and Bill Jepson, alias the Amarillo Kid. These men held up a Texas and Pacific train and killed 2 county sheriffs near Fort Worth, Texas. Signed, N.B. Averill, Captain, Texas Rangers. What is this?
Morg Pickett and the Amarillo Kid. That's you and me. Thanks, Mr. McCabe. It's a real good, fast job.
Thank you.
Remember, keep this to yourself, otherwise you'll spoil the joke.
Oh, I won't say a word, Marshal.
Come on, Mr. Masterson. So in order to keep from having to take a posse into the Salt River Bend, I decided to try for an inside job. A character like Butch Henry, being this far north, probably could use a few extra hands. A couple of characters like Mort Pickett and the Amarillo Kid stand a good chance of being hired on. You be sure and remember those names.
Only one thing wrong with the idea.
What's that?
I know Texas and I can talk the language. But they'd spot you for a Yankee in 2 minutes.
Oh, Sonny, ain't you never heard me talk Texan? Well, I heard so much Texas talk up here in the north that I'll be dang-goned if I don't seem to be using that accent in my sleep. Besides, they call me Silent Morg Pickett. So, kid, you'll be doing all the talking.
All right. Well, what if they start asking you about places in El Paso, Fort Worth, and San Antonio?
Well, it's a long ride to Butch Henry's. You can tell me about them on the way.
Well, supposing they do let us join them. Then what?
It's not too big of an outfit. About 9 or 10 guns at the most. Anyway, they'll be busy holding those steers in the bend. I think we stand a pretty good chance of taking Butch Henry and a couple of his men if the others don't butt in. Suit yourself.
Well, smoking them out with a posse would be a lot worse. When do we start?
As soon as we can get the right clothes together, we got to go in there looking like outlaws, you know.
For God's sake, don't take that Mudline special. They've never seen you, but I'll bet you they've heard of that gun.
Hey, thank you for reminding me. I'll feel kind of naked without it, though. Oh, boy. You want some water?
Yeah.
Hey, you were telling me about Big Kate's place down in Waco. What did she look like, and what do you remember about her?
She's not so awful big. Just kind of thick-like. She has blue eyes and dark hair. But don't get me wrong, she's got a real good figure. She runs a saloon and dance hall. Her girls' names are Midge, Susie, Anna Mae, and Dolores.
Well, I'll tell you, Sonny, that's a mighty heap of remembering. What about Cattle Annie's down in Fort Worth?
Oh, that's a long story, Mo.
Price of the herd is $4,500. That figures $12.50 a head.
Oh, that's too steep. Why, a lot of the brands have been messed up in the changing.
$4,500 cash or it's no deal.
Sorry, gentlemen, I can't go above $3,000. Why, you ain't allowing for the risk I run.
Hold it. Zach, see how much he's got on him.
What are you doing?
Shut
you
up.
can't do this
Where
to
do
me.
you keep it? Now we got visitors.
You let me alone.
I said shut up.
I got friends that'll take care of you. You'll never get...
500 measly bucks. You get out of camp quick.
Oh, this is just plain robbery.
Oh, no. Not with strangers around, and you hear those warning shots? You get on your horse and don't look back.
That's just plain robbery.
Get up there. Who are you and what do you want?
You Mr. Butch Henry?
I ask the questions, you answer them.
They seem kind of hostile, Morg. Reckon we better try our luck with another outfit.
Don't rush off. You boys on the run?
Could be, mister.
You forget you saw us, and we'll forget we saw you. Come on, kid, let's push on.
Nope. Can't see no reason for quarreling. You don't sound like you might be from Texas.
Yeah, we are.
Texas Rangers?
That's a dirty word, mister.
Ease it off, Morg. Morg don't care for Rangers.
Neither does Zach. Your pal had it right. I'm Butch Henry. He's Zach Newcomb. A light down. I never turned Texas boys away from my camp.
Well, if he's really Butch Henry, I guess it's all right.
You know, you sound pretty big-headed for a trail ghost.
I don't think I like Mr. Newcomb or whatever his name is.
Ease it off, Morg. You'll have to make allowances, Mr. Henry. Morg and I, we've been traveling far and fast. That ain't Morg's true nature. That's just his belly growling.
They're hungry. Go tell Simon to rustle them up some grub. Pronto.
We sure do thank you kindly. Reckon we could eat a whole steer. He's Morg Pickett, and I'm Bill Jepson. They call me the Amarillo Kid.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Reckon we better show Mr. Henry our calling card, huh?
Sure.
Calling card, huh? Well, that's as good as any with me, better than most. You fellas seem to know your way around, giving the rangers to go by. Zach, take a look at that. Guess there ain't no harm in having a friendly little chat while Simon fixes up your grub. Come on.
Boss,
Yeah?
they ain't wanted in Kansas.
Well, what's the diff? They're on the run.
Hey, which one of you is the boss anyhow, you or him?
I'm Butch Henry. Ain't you never heard of me?
Sure he has. You're the top gun in East Texas. 17 notches.
19. I got me 2 more the other day.
19 notches.
I invited these boys to eat here. You making any objection?
Nope.
That satisfy you?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Take care of the horses. Come on over to the fire. Give me a plain walnut grip on a colt. Then you can notch it without chipping it.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Henry. Shall we ask him?
It'll make no difference to me, either way.
Ask him what?
We're nobodies compared to you, Mr. Henry. But I was wondering if you could use a couple extra hands.
Well, I don't know. Either of you any good with a gun?
Well, we got us 2 sheriffs.
From ambush?
Morg ain't had too much practice. But I'm a fair hand at shooting.
Here, let's see you hit that.
Sure.
Not bad. How about your draw and shoot?
Well, I can do a drop the dollar.
You're bragging a little, ain't you, kid?
Give me $1.
Hey, that's pretty good. You got the shot off before it ever hit the ground. What do you say, Zach?
We can try him. But we don't want his pal.
Nothing doing. Morg and me left Texas together. We stay together.
Listen to Newcomb. What does he do, bury the bodies for you?
That's enough.
Quit it!
We're friends, Morg.
Look, the kid can handle a gun and we can use him. I'll use Morg as one of the cattle guards. I'll blow on your soup. It's too hot. You fellas are hired. Go catch a nap someplace. You look beat.
Thanks, Mr. Henry. Ease off, will you? Looks like Butch has called a powwow. What was the idea of getting so tough with Newcomb?
He's the real boss.
How do you figure that?
Butch does too much talking to be a fighting man.
Yeah, only 19 notches.
What I think Zach does is killing for him.
Ah, you don't know what you're talking.
Shut up and listen to him.
Boys, all we could get from that cow trader was $500.
Oh, no, that's not enough.
Now, Zach will cut it up, share and share alike. We just couldn't unload them steers. Quiet, quiet. I've got an idea how we can pick up some quick money. There's plenty of this stuff in Dodge, all spread out in them gambling joints just ready to be took. Now, what do you say?
Zach told us it wasn't a good idea.
Is that right, Zach? Is that what you said?
No.
Why, you dirty double-crossing liar, you said... You...
I run this outfit, and I don't take no back talk. And no lies about Newcomb. Any of you other boys scared to go to Dodge? All right. Bury him.
Zach got off the first shot.
Yeah, he usually does.
Why does he let Butch take all the credit?
They're watching us going to sleep.
Well, I think we ought to hit him tonight while the gambling's going full blast.
Not with those new men in camp.
Well, we can use the kid.
Maybe. Not the big one, though.
All right. I'll leave the big one on cattle guard.
No. I want to talk to him first.
Now, look. There's already been one killing in camp. That kid's gonna stand by his pal.
You call the kid over here. I want to talk to Pickett when he's all by himself.
Now, Zach.
You do like I say, real quick.
All right. All right. Hey, kid! Kid, come on over here.
You want Morg, too?
No, he can work on the fire.
Go on, I'll cover you.
What part of Texas was you born in?
Part of Texas?
Yeah. Where was you born?
El Paso, why?
That's funny. I was born in El Paso.
Maybe we're neighbors.
Name me some of the streets.
If you live there, you know their names.
I'm asking you.
No, you're trying to call me a liar.
It's their fight, kid.
I don't like you, Mr. Newcomb. I told you that. Now you get the gall to ask for questions. I don't like that.
No.
Sit down, Mr. Newcomb, before I'm tempted to break both your legs. Hold it! Any of you want to pick up his fight?
Mr. Henry's coming, Morg.
I got no quarrel with Mr. Henry.
I ought to finish you off, you polecat.
You don't like Newcomb?
I despise him. None of the men ever liked him here. Patch him up. Put him on his horse. I don't want him around my camp. I never saw two-handier men with guns. Why, you're almost as good as I am.
Well, that's a big compliment, Mr. Henry.
Sure is. Downright flattering.
No, I mean it. I got a special proposition to make you. You heard us talking about a raid on Dodge? Well, if you're game, I'll cut you in on equal shares.
Well, fine. Hey, you hear that, Morg? We're in.
Well, I don't know, kid.
What's wrong?
We're raiding a big town like that. Why don't we just round up them steers and point them south toward the Indian nations?
You scared of Wyatt Earp?
Earp? Who's that?
He's the John Law in Dodge with a big reputation. But he ain't as fast as I am.
Well, I'm not fretting about no Earp. We better think about it. If I was you, I wouldn't put Mr. Newcomb on a horse. Oh, the way he's feeling, he's liable to head straight for Dodge and rouse up that whole town.
That's right. I'd better see that he's tied up. You keep working on Morg, kid.
You'll come around, Mr. Henry. You aiming to bulldoze that whole outfit into town?
I slipped up on a serious point. Should have told those cattlemen back in Dodge what you and I were going to try and do.
You couldn't do that. They'd have talked.
Yeah, but I should have trusted them. No, I made a big mistake. What if those cattlemen come hightailing it out here with a posse?
Well, let's grab Butch and Zach. Make a run for it like you first planned, huh?
Butcher's got more men than Mr. Byrode figured. Got 9 here in camp. I figure at least another 10 out in cattle guard.
Well, then we'll have to get them all started on the raid. If there's a posse headed this way, some hoodlum is sure to beat him here with the news.
Yeah, that's right. You, go tell Butch you won me over.
Right.
How much further to the bend?
Maybe 5 miles. But we're all pretty tired, Hick.
Wyatt was a fool to try an inside job, but if they haven't killed him and Masterson, we owe them a chance. I hope it isn't too late.
There's just one more thing. Some of you men been out on cattle guard, so you ain't met Morg Pickett and the Amarella Kid. Morg is the man that crippled Newcomb in a stand-up gunfight. I was going to shoot the rat myself, only Morg took the job off my hands. Now, I want you all to do me a favor. When we pick up them other men and we hit Dodge, you leave Wyatt Earp to me, to Morg, and the Kid. All right, so we ride. Hold it.
Posse coming, Butch, not more than a mile behind me.
How many of them are?
I couldn't tell.
Wyatt Earp with them?
No, him and Bat Masterson snuck out of town 2 days ago.
What? Hey! That There they go, that dirty
Don't kill him, just swing him.
Yeah. Come on, men! We're going to get away with this.
Hold it, Butch. Concentrating us.
I want Earp! It's too late. Take cover. Move around. I want them dirty John Law.
We can't stay here.
No place else to go.
Quit hiding, Earp. Come on out.
Are you crazy?
Come on out, Earp, and I'll make it 20 notches.
Drop him Wyatt.
Hold your fire, men. I want Earp to come out. I'm awaiting, Earp.
Aren't you going to kill him?
No.
That's what I wanted to do to you in the Pollock ambush, but you wouldn't trust me.
Yo, Butch, let's get him, men.
You hit?
No, we're not coming out this way.
Hold your fire.
Hold it, man. Come on, drop your guns. Come on, all of you, out of there. Drop your guns. You there. Come on out. Line them up and tie them, boys. It was call, Marshal.
You're right, sir. We'd like to thank you. That's Butch Henry, but he's not really the tough one.
Tough one is Zach Newton.
He's tied up over there.
So Butch Henry isn't really tough. A cattle thief with 19 notches on his gun.
Well, he's just a big blowhard, sir. I'll tell you all about it back in town. Yeah, I told you, he's just got a headache.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his